Welcome back to the Friends and Faith Collective. I am Marina.
I'm Sam.
And on today's episode, we are going to be talking on different ways to fill your cup. It's just been a very trying week for me, and so I felt this would be just like the perfect topic to talk about.
Definitely.
We tend to be so busy doing things for everyone, marking those things off our to-do list and things like that. And so I could really use some filling my cup.
Definitely. I think one thing for me about filling my cup, or when I'm feeling like my cup is running low, is when my routine's out of whack. So if something comes up and changes my normal routine, that's when I tend to notice, I think because it just raises my cortisol level a little bit, or my stress or my anxiety starts to kick in. And instead of taking that extra time to fill my cup back up, I just keep running until it runs all the way down to E, and then I'm running on fumes. I do that in my actual car in real life. My dad can tell you how many times he's rescued me from an empty gas tank. Thanks, Dad.
It's funny. I think I put more thought into filling my gas tank so that I don't run on E than I do my own mental and emotional health. And so I'm just laughing because, you hit it on the nose for me, at least. Like, my schedule has been completely out of whack, and I think that's where it all started.
Yeah. It's all it takes is just one thing to get thrown into your schedule and messes up your whole dang week. But I know I was looking through Pinterest as we were talking about this idea and some things that I could at least bring to the table of, hey, if your cup's running low and you're feeling like we both have been this week, here's some things to try, and maybe we'll try them ourselves.
Please give me all the details. Yes.
So one thing I saw said that if you're starting to feel like you're overthinking, to write it down. If you're anxious, move your body. If you're tired, read. If you're confused, go for a walk. If you're sad, exercise. And I thought that was even a good one. Like in a previous episode, we've talked about writing something down and sticking it on your mirror, or sticking it on your desk at work, or sticking a sticky note in your car. That might be just a quick little something as you're driving by, just real quick, and seeing that, oh, okay, that might be a quick way to check in with yourself.
God, you bring a good point. And sorry, I didn't mean
You're
to
good.
cut you off. I'm just thinking about when I used to work in an office environment and I was managing so many different roles. I had to write them down because I was so overwhelmed and I didn't know which one was more important. Where do I start? And I think that's where I'm at right now, of there's so many things going on right now that I forget. And isn't that funny? Like, we know these things that we need to do, but sometimes we need to be reminded of the therapy for me. And I did so well when I would journal every night. It was like a prayer journal, just talking about my day, but then it just helped to get it off the mind.
Yeah.
Are you a list taker? If there's things
100%. I have to make a list.
So if you have the list of things going on up here and you write it down, it's a sense of like release of like, okay, it's off the brain and on paper so I can physically see it. And now I can itemize which one's important and what goes first.
Yes. My mom is someone who can remember everything. She's got the perfect brain as far as memory goes. She probably would say otherwise as she's getting older, but sorry, Mom. But always growing up, she could remember everything. And I'd be like, gosh, I don't know how you remember all of this. And now, as a wife and trying to take care of a household and take care of my marriage and my husband, and trying to, learn how to fill those wifely duties and shoes, lists like totally save my butt every time. I mean, I can show you, gosh, just in my phone right here. These are just titles of lists.
Wow.
There's a list. When you click on it, there's a list inside of every.
There's a list inside of a list inside of a list with like tasks.
Yeah. I have one for my bucket list. items, I have one for labels for my home filing system because I do like to be organized. So if something comes up that's new, I've add it here. Things I need to buy that I might not have money for right now, but I don't want to forget that I need it later down down the line. I made one for a daily routine. I was looking into some prepping type of stuff at one point, and so I started one for what I would add into my grab and go bag, my bug out bag, books I want to read in 2024, oils that I want to start, investing in. And then I started one for each day of the week. Grocery store. Then there's one for Trader Joe's, Costco, Walmart, Dollar Tree, Aldi, Sprouts.
You guys, I'm over here laughing, but it's not the fact, like, I'm laughing because it's smart. I'm not the most organized person and I know you're super organized. So it's just like I'm laughing because of how organized you are and the lack that I am.
That's okay. That's why we're here, because we make a great team.
Yin yang,
we're so
right?
opposite. Yes. But I do love the satisfaction it gives when I can check something off.
Oh yeah.
That's something that, you can just use your notes, the notes section in your, an app. If you have an Apple phone, they allow you to do that now too. You can add little bubbles to.
I think this is where I'm dating myself and how old I am. I'm so old school when it comes to paper, like
I have them
physically
on paper too,
writing it down
work.
and check marking or crossing it out. Mm-hmm. Such satisfaction.
I have a whole, I don't know what it's called. It's called something. I've seen it on Pinterest. It's make a center in your home, and it's like an area that has like a calendar and a whiteboard so you can write quick notes on it. I have a grocery list thing there too. I have one on my phone and one on the fridge. I have a little holder with my markers. It's a whole thing. I have two separate calendars, one for social events, one for bills. It's a lot.
Dang, I wish.
It can be too much though. Don't worry. It's not always accurate or up to date or perfect. It gets messy because I have almost too many systems.
I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed just talking about all this. And the lack of my organizational skills, right?
It's all right. My plate's not quite as full as yours, so I have got the time to organize and plan.
It's super. I seriously wish that I could be that detailed. It's awesome.
I need it. If I don't have it, that feeling like my routine's out of whack. If I don't have it, I start to feel like I have a lot of anxiety building up because I don't have it organized. And if it's not organized on paper or in my phone, it's a hot mess in my brain. Yeah. So I need it written down in some way, shape, or form. I've got a list at work that I keep just ongoing, and yeah. So
you listed, we talked about writing down. Mm-hmm. We've talked about, or you mentioned exercising. That's a huge, like when my brain is overwhelmed and I need to just clear the mind. And that's probably another reason why I've been feeling overwhelmed. We've been so busy the last 3.5 weeks, and I have not been in the gym the entire time during that process because we've been so busy. I know you can call it excuses, but the reality is we've been busy, and I don't set my alarm at 4:00 in the morning to go. I haven't gotten that crazy yet. But exercising, I know, is a huge thing for me to fill my cup, but also to release all the things going on in the brain and have that positive outlook.
Well, and you have a spot too that you like to go to and walk.
Yeah.
It's been a while since you've been there.
It has been. It's been months since I've been there.
It hasn't helped that the weather's been wacky, but
I know. I'll have to get back there. I do enjoy the outdoors, morning walk, birds chirping. There's something so therapeutic about that.
Yeah. There's something too about, sorry to cut you off. There's something about, I don't know the research behind it. I haven't looked too far into it, but there's something about getting the sunlight on your skin or your face, like within so many minutes of waking up. I don't know if it's half an hour, 10 minutes or hour or whatever it is, but they say go outside and just stand and put your face up to the sun. There's something about that. I got to look it up because I don't know the science, but going for your walk and getting that morning sun was probably really good for you.
Yeah. Over summer when we're off, that's one of my favorite things to do is first thing in the morning, go walk the trail. Like I said, the birds chirping, the cold, crisp air, but the sun's still out, and feeling that sunshine on you. I don't know. It's just, there's something that's therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
That's one way that I fill my cup.
Yep. A guided journal, or are you just a blank notebook kind of girl?
I'm a blank notebook kind of girl. When I journal, it tends to be more like a diary. Just talking to God about my day. I'll start with, Dear Jesus, today was a great day. We did XYZ. Or today we struggled a little bit because I was dealing with this, or my kids were going through this problem. So I just write down how my day was. I thank Him for the good stuff. I pray about the stuff that we struggled with. But I do remember it being so therapeutic in a very dark time in my life when I was doing it every single day. It just helped to get that out.
Yeah.
So
I've seen some guided journals. I have a few that I've liked, and some that were super simple. There was one that was like, it was a small little journal, and it said something like, writing 3 things you're grateful for. I do every once in a while will journal. We've talked about the beach. Like, the beach is a spot for me. You know, I'll go, and one morning this week before work, I just said, I need to just go to the beach. That's my spot. I need to go, and I need to talk to God. And I didn't take my journal this time, but sometimes I will, and I'll take my journal and I'll just write. And I do something similar to you, like talking to God, but in a written form. But I like guided journals too. I just go with what I'm feeling.
right.
Yeah.
A huge thing for me in filling my cup, besides, we talked about journaling, we talked about, what did we say, exercising or walking, that kind of thing, but time with my girls. I know we've referenced this in past episodes. We know naturally you're a hermit crab and you're fine just being on your own. I am the complete opposite. And so when I don't take that time, I've been busy, school, kids, routines, lessons. We've gone on a couple vacations. It's just been nonstop with us. I haven't had any time with my girls. And that's one major thing that fills my cup. That's been a hard one too, just because I haven't made the time or been able to have that time to connect with my girls. We feed each other. We listen to one another. We encourage. We pray for one another. Sometimes those involve crying sessions. Sometimes it's reading our Bibles. Sometimes it's dancing like a fool. It's just, though, that time with my girls is something that recharges my battery significantly. And that's just been another thing that's lacking for me because we've been so busy.
Well, if you can hang tight a little longer, go ahead and plug our event.
Yes, I was like, but we have an event coming up. It is our music and mocktails. It is Friday, April 12th. It's going to be the ultimate girls' night. Going to be making some yummy cocktails, playing some games, just having a ton of fun. Girls, we need to break away from our routines, get away from our houses, our husbands, our significant other, our kids, whatever those routines are, and just come out and have a night with the girls. So I'm so looking forward to that.
We should have put that on the invitation. Come fill your cup.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Literally fill your cup with mocktails.
Yeah. And just a shameless plug for our cutie little cups, too.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Filling your cup.
Filling your cup.
From Bossy & Co.
Yes.
Shout out to her.
Yes. Thank you for the new cups. We love them.
Super cute.
Yep.
We love them.
I also saw on Pinterest when I was doing a little bit of just quick research that I could bring to the table for this episode was something I saw. It was like 8 pillars of self-care. So there was physical. We have touched on that a little bit, but moving daily. Physical can also be sleep. So are you getting, adequate sleep? I know you had mentioned that you've been a little sleep deprived as well. That's probably contributing a lot. And wholesome food. Like, what are we fueling our body with? That for me is like, I'm the worst when it comes to diet.
It's been bad with all the celebrations and vacations and getaways. So yes, absolutely.
Yep. The second pillar was mental. reading self-help books, journaling, like we talked about, practicing mindfulness. Third one was environmental, decluttering your space. That's something for me that I've learned over time is naturally I wouldn't call it hoarding, but I love knickknacks. And when I go places, I love to collect a hoodie or collect a magnet or collect a cute mug. And it's like, how many mugs do you need? I've got how many? Right now I only have 3 because I really decluttered my mugs, and antiques. I love old vintage stuff that was in someone's grandma's house that she doesn't need no more. But decluttering your space can be huge. I know for me and my husband right now, that's something that's been weighing on us just because we live in a literal shoebox and space has been tough, but we're working on it. So decluttering your space, that can be something that's really taking up your mind. I read somewhere that said your space is a mirror of your mental space. So what your home is looking like is a reflection of what's going on in your brain. And so mine's doing okay right now. Not great. Could be better. I have one spot that's just collecting, 2 spots that's collecting all the things. I used to have a computer chair in my room growing up, and my mom would say, is that a chair or is that something to just hold your stuff? I said, oh, that's a stuff holder. It's not a chair. Never used it as a chair.
We're talking about clutter. We have gotten better at our house. I'm very organized at work, but when it comes to home, total different story. For those of you that know me personally, I'm a huge Friends lover, the TV show Friends. And it just made me think, do you watch Friends?
Yeah, on and off. I watched it growing up. I'm not as into it as you are, but I do love the show.
There's an episode, if you guys know Monica, she's super OCD clean, like everything. Like this would probably drive her nuts, although at least we have napkins, so it's not touching the wood. But she's super OCD clean, and she has this one closet that no one is allowed to get into because she just shoves all the junk in there. And I can so relate. I have a closet like that. I'm embarrassed to say. So if you ever come over to my house and it looks nice and neat, just don't go in the closet.
Just know there's one closet somewhere.
Is it just me?
No, it's not you. My husband called me when I was on the way over here, and he's, hey, my cousin's coming over. And I was like, okay, I need you to go here and grab this because this is laying out, and throw all of it. We have a pretty large, like one of those old school rolling hampers. And I was like, just throw it all in the hamper and then throw a blanket on top of it. I'll deal with it probably in a month from now.
Yeah.
But don't let anybody see it. It's one of those, I've seen like a lot of funny memes or TikToks about it. And it's, I want my house to look like nobody lives here. That's how I grew up.
Yes.
My mom's house, you could stop by my mom's house any day of the week, anytime, and it is magazine ready. And same with my grandma's house. And you can, and there's no dust every time.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I don't quite live up to that, not even close, but
definitely not me.
No, not me neither.
But it looks pretty.
It does. It looks nice. It always looks nice every time I'm here.
I've started to, I obviously love to have my house tidy and clean. You can rest and be comfortable at the end of the day knowing that like your kitchen and everything is put in order. But I've also laxed a little bit when I know I'm having company over to not have my house look like that, because it also puts on this expectation for my guests. That's how I live every day, and I do not. I absolutely do not. And so I don't want my guests coming over to a completely messy house. I do allow things to be out more and not so orderly, because I don't want them to think that's how it's just for, especially with 2 dogs and 2 kids and a spouse, and it's just not realistic living when we're on the go. So
you want people to know you actually live here.
Yes. And I also don't want people coming in, because I mean, I know I've been that way. I've gone to that magazine ready house, and then it makes me feel like a failure because my house doesn't look like that.
I never thought of it that way. I mean, I grew up with my mom and grandma are just very good at that. Is something that they're really good at taking care of. And I love that. You know, I didn't quite get that same. I must have got my dad's genes when it came to that department. But I never thought of it like that, of when someone comes over, like, what impression are they taking from it? Gosh, come on over anytime because my house is a hot mess. I try sometimes. I don't want to say, I mean, if you came over right now, you'd be like, it's not terrible. There's dust bunnies on the floor. You should probably keep your shoes on.
I think there's constant dust bunnies for us.
Yeah.
But like I said, I try obviously to keep it clean in that kind of manner. But if you have people that are coming over to visit, my house is not white glove ready.
I mean,
and it just, because I know that going over to people's houses that are like that makes me feel like I can't keep my house in order. I can't keep it together. But that's, of course, the enemy getting in and wanting to make me feel that way. But I don't ever want to. And that's why I also put my stuff out there to share sometimes the bad stuff on, my Instagram and things like that, because I don't want people always thinking we don't have it all together all the time. People don't,
Nope, I sure don't. That's why we're here talking about this stuff today. Is, man, we both had a rough, messy week. Let's talk about it.
Yes. It's just been a week of, it's been a month for me, but if we're bringing it down, the week has just been crazy. My sleep has been off. My eating has been absolutely terrible. I'm just eating everything in sight. I am a comfort foodie. And so when I'm stressed, I go for all the bad stuff.
You're not alone, don't worry.
So that is added to it. I've got things that I've been working with my kids on. They've been hitting some challenges this week. And so that's added pressure to it, on top of we're hosting for Easter coming up and then going on a little getaway right after. And so it's been a ton of things. And that's why we wanted to talk about filling your cup, because I am pretty much going on empty, and I feel it and I recognize that. And I know, like I was telling Sam before we started to hit record, I know that the only thing that can fill that too, yes, these things are necessary to fill our cups. And for some people, everybody has different things. For me, I know where a lot of it is lacking, and that's because I have not had my quiet time with the Lord. That is a huge thing. I talk to God every day. I'm constantly worshiping Him through music and things like that. But alone time of just getting the kids and the husband out of the way, locking myself in my closet or in the studio, and just quiet prayer, listening to God. I haven't had that, as well as my Bible reading has been not as consistent, and I feel it there too.
Yeah.
And so I know where I need to get back on track. It's just taking that first step and doing it.
Yeah. You had sent me a video a few days ago, maybe a week ago, about someone converted. I guess they had like a walk-in closet. And so their clothes were hanging on one side, and they took the space of one side of the closet and made it like a prayer area. I thought that was super cool. I don't have the closet space for that now in our shoebox, but one day when we, get a bigger closet, I love that. That's a super good idea. So maybe you can empty your Monica closet, de-stash.
She said Monica closet.
And make a prayer closet for yourself. Maybe that would help. And you can put some inspiration up there and some beautiful pictures, and keep your Bible in that space, and keep it open, and keep your highlighters and your books, your notes. How cool.
To be perfectly honest, I did create a prayer closet. Yes.
I had no idea.
Yes. I had a space out there. I had a pillow, my Bible. I had a cork board with some like memory verses. I had a board that said, things I'm praying for or that I'm believing God for, and then a separate area that said God answered these prayers, to be able to have those in my face. Unfortunately, clutter and things, like I wasn't spending time in there, and then things just got shoved in the area and it wasn't treated like it was. And then I ended up moving it in here. Sometimes you're right. I need to get back to that space, because there was something. So when I'm hitting my knees on the floor in prayer, in tears, in going to war with some prayers that need to be done, it's always been in that closet.
Yeah.
So I think I need to move that stuff aside and put back what was in there, because that was my space.
Yeah. Sounds like you might need that space again. That was one of the pillars on that little picture that I had seen, the 8 pillars of self-care. That was a pillar, number 7, spiritual. We can definitely talk about that more, because just talking about time with God, and that can look different for everybody. So we'll touch on that again, maybe on our next episode. Things that you can do especially for me being so new in my walk, is learning those things, because that's definitely something you have to start practicing. It's not something that just comes naturally, just like with anything new, anything we're learning, we do need that practice. Some other things that were on here, financial. I think that's not something that we usually think about as being something for self-care. But like when I mentioned your routine being out of whack, this is a pillar for me that's really hard, has always been really hard for me to tackle and accomplish. And I don't want to say perfect, but really get it and understand it, is the financial pillar. So some things that it had said was setting some money goals, creating an emergency fund, tracking your spending. Those things can give such peace of mind. So I hope down the line, like some things that we've mentioned when we first sat down and we're talking about what we want to see this podcast grow into, we hope that it becomes so much more than that, and has some things that support, things that we can give to support what we're talking about. I hope to create some kind of, financial system for myself that I find that works. Once I have that down, then I hope to release it, and that can be something that people can use and download and use it for themselves, and hopefully that will help as well. Another pillar was social. So this is something for you, spending time with loved ones. I had written down, we talked about vision boards on one of the last episodes. We talked about vision boards, and something for me that I wrote on there was, because I'm not very social and it's something I want to work on, was making plans with one friend per month. So like picking a friend, okay, I'm going to focus on this friend this month, and we're going to make plans or do something. And it's, again, end of March. I haven't done that yet. I just talked to a friend the other day, and we're making plans to do something soon. But also setting healthy boundaries as well with friends and family. That can also be part of that self-care pillar. Emotional is another one, allowing yourself to cry, reaching out to a close friend, journaling, thoughts and feelings. And then the last one was recreational, taking up a new hobby or starting a new TV series. That can be a comfort thing for some people.
My comfort is Friends.
Mine's new, girl. And listening to your favorite music. So I know you said worship music was a big thing for you. That's been new for me. I created a playlist, and I actually have it on our Instagram. So if you're interested in taking a listen to it, it's called Let's Worship. I have it on our Instagram. If you need help finding it, it's on Spotify. Just let me know. I'll send you the link. But yeah, those are tons of ways that you can work on filling your cup, but also not just thinking about filling the cup. What are things that you need to take out so that you can fill the cup, right? There's things that
that's a good one.
So cutting things out, screen time, alcohol, late nights, caffeine, and bad food just in general. So if those are things that are heavy in your life, if alcohol is heavy, or you're someone who's out late quite often and you're feeling that fatigue or you're feeling like your cup's running low, just try switching your routine up. Come to our mocktails and music party and learn some mocktails and maybe try to, you know, cut alcohol out for 30 days and see how it makes you feel. It's worth a try.
The plug.
Yeah.
Plug number 2.
Endless plugs.
Love it.
Come hang out.
Yes. And my best friend is constantly reminding me, are you filling your cup? Are you filling your cup? Did you fill your cup? Because she knows I'm notorious for this. I'm so just wired to put other people's needs before mine. It's just what I've always done. And I have to remember that my needs matter too. Mm-hmm. And I have to do the things that fill my cup, like the working out and going for the walk or journaling, spending time with the Lord. Even with I really am looking forward to our girls event. It's going to be our first of many coming up. One of the biggest reasons why we started to put this together is because we believe in community. We believe that it's important to surround yourself around the right women, to encourage and empower, to believe in you, help you to believe in yourself when you're having those down days. But filling your cup is extremely important. And a lot of times when I'm sharing or giving that advice to others, it's, you need to be listening to your own advice, Marina. It's important in order for us. Your drink is running a little lower than mine. And so if I've poured into you and I gave you some of my drink, then your cup would be full, but then I'm left on empty.
Right.
So where am I going to fill my cup? And it's very important to make sure you're always putting in that time for yourself, because ladies, you matter. Everything else, I say, can wait. I know there's time constraints on certain things, but we have to remember to be pouring into ourselves and loving ourselves just as much as we do for all others out there.
100%. One other quick thing I want to share. I had seen this image, and I'll post it on our Instagram, but it said self-care. You are worth the quiet moment. You are worth a deep breath. You are worth the time it takes to slow down, be still, and rest. Don't forget.
That's important.
And it's important, right? Like being a mom, being a wife, you have a family, you're filling 3 other cups, and the dogs too, 2 more.
Dogs.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's very fulfilling. I do love what God has entrusted me with, and by no means this is a complaint of any means. It's just a reminder to myself and to our viewers and our friends out there to remember to pour into yourself too.
Yeah.
Because if you are on E and you have nothing left in your cup, you cannot pour into others. And take it from me, from experience, it's not a healthy place to be.
No.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, we have our First Ladies Night coming up, so tune into that. And until next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.